Good evening. Welcome to Unwind Friday. It's your girl, Lisa Black, bringing you the heat with the little street.
And it's your girl, edification coach Marie, bringing you tools you can use.
And we are Sisters Edified. Hey, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. So first and foremost, we always like to talk about what we are unwinding with.
Oh, no, I got to go get my, I forgot my.
But give Marie a second. She want to go get what she is unwinding with. Me, I got two things because obviously I'm living life on the edge tonight. I got the our red Michigan from Lake Lanier wine. And then I have my brother brought this to me. It is a butter pecan moonshine. Y'all, this moonshine is good. It's strong for me. He looked at me like I was weak. But it is good. The butter pecan one. And then Marie is going to get what she is unwinding with. She got the same wine I have. So it's the red Lake Lanier wine. We be representing for Michigan, holding it down with their wine. Because we have some beautiful wineries up north. We're gonna have to take us a trip up there, guys. To the wineries up north in Traverse City. So, guys, I'm just waiting on Marie to come back over here so we can get started. But what are you guys unwinding with? Comment below. Let us know. This is our time together, guys, where we help you build you up and edify you, as well as helping to tell you stories, untold stories that people are not talking about, that did not make the mainstream, like a lot of the people that we know or that we've heard about. But we also want to say these people's names because it is important to get their stories out. Last week we did a story of a young man. And this week we are coming back to you, as we told you, with another young man. His name is Rasheem Carter. Have you heard of Rasheem Carter? That is our topic for tonight. We're going to tell you about the brutal killing of Rasheem Carter. He was a 25-year-old black man, and it has sparked a lot of grief in Taylorsville, a small Mississippi town. He was murdered and dismembered. So we are going to jump into his story. We're going to try to do the timeline for y'all. But I don't have the timeline from the police, but I do have the information that I'm going to share.
We didn't find a timeline for the police like we did for the other one, because this story is really, now this is a story that really don't have a lot of information. Like, so the other family we talked about last week, they're really putting pressure on the police. So the police was forced to come out and talk about it. But before we dive deep into, you guys, please accept the StreamYard if you're on Facebook so that we can see your name when you comment to us. Have you guys heard about the Rasheem Carter story? Because I did not until 2 weeks ago.
Until she did and told me about it. And I'm like, wait a minute. It's so many stories out there, guys, that are not being told, that have not made mainstream media. But we want to bring them to the forefront, because we do believe when you know what you don't know can hurt you. So it is very important to bring these stories up, and we hope that this help apply some pressure, because if we can begin to get his name out there, as well as the other people who are getting their name out there, maybe we can help apply some pressure and get more answers, because there is not enough answers for what happened to Rasheem. Rasheem was murdered and dismembered in Taylorsville, Mississippi.
But tell the story.
So let's jump into the story. So Carter, he had been working for a local lumber company for several months. He had became, wait 1 second.
Well, guys, I can tell you a little bit. Let me tell you guys a little bit about what I had came across. So, and I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture of him in here so you guys can see his face, so we can say his name. So I'm going to add him in here. Let me make sure that they say. But so, guys, I came across this young man, and I'm like, hold on a minute. I never heard this story. So Rasheem Carter was working a job that causes him to travel. So he lived in hotels. And some type of, I can't think, do they have the name of where he was working?
It was, yes, they do have the name for that, where he was working at. It was a very popular company that we hear all the time. I'm trying to get that information really quick as I look.
That's not horrible.
Excuse the little tapping in the background. We are also cooking, guys. So let me tell. I think it was Pacific, Georgia. What was Georgia Pacific? Georgia. It was Georgia Pacific is who we worked for. And that's very popular. I don't know if you guys know them, but they're a very popular PNG. So basically, back to this. Are you going to tell more about the story?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So he was working this job, and he had a co-worker who was taking him back and forth to work. But this specific day, the co-worker for some reason was like, "I can't take you." He took him to work. I'm not going to be taking you back and forth to work anymore. So he was about 30, 40 minutes away from the hotel room. So when he got off work, you guys, he was trying to find a way home from work because all of a sudden the co-worker said he wasn't going to take him. And so when he was walking, trying to find a way, he found out like Ubers wouldn't come that direction because he was so far out and things like that. And he was trying to find a way. And so he said that 3 white men in a white pickup truck was following him. And he was so concerned about it, they was following him, that he actually went to the police station and told them not once but twice. He called his mother. And now his mother was on their way to get him from Taylorville, but they lived an hour away.
Yeah, they lived a few hours away.
So go ahead, you can go
ahead. All right, so let
me
me get into the story, guys, because we want you to be able to know a little more information, a little more detail. So it says that Carter, who had been working for a local lumber company for several months, had became increasingly concerned about the racist behavior of his white supervisor, who allegedly made derogatory comments about Black people and subject Carter to unfair treatment. Carter also reported being followed by 3 white trucks with unknown occupants, which he suspected were related to the harassment and intimidation he had experienced. So he's starting to believe that something's going on because he's there. He's experiencing some racist behaviors that he's concerned about. So on October 2nd, 2022, this is not that old, guys. Carter went missing, leaving behind his phone, car, and apartment. His family and friends grew increasingly worried as days went by without any signs of him. And they searched the area and posted flyers with his picture and description. However, their efforts were hampered by a lack of resources and support from the authorities, who they felt were not taking Carter's case seriously due to his race and social economic status. Now, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Mississippi. Maybe you are. When you say Mississippi, you probably already get some, like a thought of what it is down there. But our father was from Mississippi, and he never wanted us to go down there. He's like, it's land down there. There's a house down there, but I never want y'all to go down there. And he probably had his reasons. He was also born in 1939, but he experienced some things that he didn't even want his kids to go back. So back to the story, though. So less than a month later, on November 4th, Carter's dismembered remains was found in a field outside of town, shocking the community and sending a wave of fear and anger among the Black residents who felt they were not safe in Taylorsville. The police launched an investigation into Carter's death, but have not yet made any arrests or named any suspects, which has added to the frustration and distrust of the authorities. Some people have speculated that Carter's murder was a hate crime fueled by racism and bigotry, while others have suggested that it could have been related to his work or personal life. So Carter, like Marie said, I was reading a few stories about Carter as well. So Carter was being followed, like after Marie has informed y'all that his coworker had just decided randomly that he was not going to take him home. Carter was at one point in a gas station, and he was on the phone with his mom, and he heard the cashier say, "Yeah, he's in the store." And when he heard that, he got concerned and hurried up and left out the store. So while he was on the phone with his mom, he was telling her, like, "Yeah, some people following me. They're in a pickup truck." So he had even went to the police station. So when he went to the police station, he was kind of asking them, can he get a ride back to the neighbor, to Laurel. Laurel is like 30 minutes from where he was. But the police had informed him, like, no,
guys, what you see on the screen is a picture of Rasheem.
So that's what we said, say his name. So he was at the police station. He had went to the police station and asked them, can he have a ride to Laurel? Laurel is in the neighboring county. So the policeman they was like, hey, no, we can't, unfortunately we can't take you over there. That's out of our jurisdiction. And but they didn't even offer to get him at least closer halfway. But they had said that, like, well, he didn't seem like he was in any immediate danger. He didn't mention any immediate danger. And we had even offered him a charger for his phone. Although they offered him a phone, but then they said that the phone, he was like, no, I have a cell phone. Then they offered him a charger. So, but then after he asked, can he stay? They told him they couldn't keep him because they didn't have any room, and they also wasn't going to give him a ride. But he was saying that he was concerned, but they're saying he didn't show like any immediate danger or that he was fine. Exactly. So with this, it also says Carter family and supporters have been calling for justice and accountability, organizing protests, individuals, and demanding that the police and the media pay more attention to his case. They have also raised concern about the broader context of racism and violence in the Taylorville and beyond, pointing to the legacy of slavery, segregation, and discrimination that has shaped the region's history and culture. They argue that Carter's story is not an isolated incident, but a symptom of more significant problems that need to be addressed. So, they were just not being very helpful.
So guys, think about this. So Rasheem Carter left work. First, he was perfectly fine. His co-worker who stayed at the same hotel with him was giving him a ride back. But all of a sudden, he said he can't. He was concerned about his racist supervisor at the job. It was a new job that he hadn't been at that long. He was so concerned that he was being followed and harassed that he went to the police station, not once but twice. One inside the store. He called his mother. His mother was on her way to come find him. But check this out, you guys. Rasheem Carter was found 31 days dismembered in the woods in the area that he was close to. Oh, that's not it, you guys. And I was going to post a picture, but it's gone now. It was up when I first found the story, but now I can't find it. But someone in the area called Rasheem running on their deer cam, but they don't have who was chasing after him. I don't know how deer cams work. Do any of you guys who hunt know how deer cams work? Do they take flash pictures? Do they record constantly? I'm not sure because I'm not a hunter, but he has images of Rasheem running in the woods, the same woods that he was found dismembered in 31 days later.
No, 31 days before, because he was found 31 days later after he was reported missing. But not only was he on the camera, they said he had a stick in his hand, and you could see he was looking around as if somebody was after him. So he was obviously in duress. Like somebody was following him, because they said even in that video you can kind of see he was looking around. He had a stick in his hand as if somebody was after him. And he had reached out to his mom, but for them to find him 31 days later in a wooded area, they called it a pine cone plantation that he was found on, dismembered. And not only was he dismembered, but when they found him and they started their investigation, they determined there was no foul play. Now take a minute to think about that.
Always like that. You know, they find in these same areas like this Taylorville, they find young black man hanging from trees, and they call it suicide. Like how did he climb? So he climbed over the hung himself. This is something that continues to happen. And the reason why we want to bring these stories to light, because we have to stand up for each other and bring pressure. Like the other story is getting that we brought to you. They some determined people. Other people don't have the strength to stand up and fight against this unless they have people who's going to rally behind them. So us as a people, and not only black people, but our allies, white people and brown people who stand with us, we have to come up against this type of stuff and stop letting them get away with it like these little towns belong to them, when this earth belongs to God and everything belongs to all of us. No young black man who's trying to work and make a living for himself should end up dead a couple weeks after starting a new job.
Right, no man, period. And for me, like Marie said, his family was just so far away. They did make an attempt to try to come and get him. They kept, when they arrived, they were asking questions. They were looking for him. Nobody had seen him. That was saying last time he was seen, it was by his hotel room, which was at the Super 8. But obviously that couldn't have been the case because he was away. Yeah, but in the story they're saying, according to authorities, the 25-year-old was last seen outside the Super 8 hotel on October 2nd in Laurel, a half hour from where he had been contracted to work in Taylorsville at Georgia Pacific. The Hens Community College graduate did not have a vehicle. He also sold seafood in and around his home. Okay, yes.
So listen, you guys, I love you guys. I'm gonna step away just for a second. I'm cooking chicken and dumplings for my family, and I'll be right back.
So she is cooking. So guys, so the authorities, like, they mentioned to him down, like, oh well, he was last seen outside his hotel room, but that's kind of impossible when he was 30 minutes away in the police station asking for a ride, and was not able to get a ride because his coworker had decided, today's the day you can't no longer ride with me. I'm not going to be taking you back and forth. So, and I don't know. I know a lot of us might be thinking like, well, why didn't he try Uber or Lyft? But in those rural little towns, like, I don't know how available those could have been for him, or if he had that on his phone. But you just never know because the situation he was in, he found himself where he was in a terrible situation. He a young man in a strange town of being followed, and especially knowing the history of those towns and how that works. So guys, we definitely just want to get his story out there because like Marie said, his family, they're trying their best, but it's only so far they will go. It's only so far they can go. But we want to take these stories because he was somebody's son, he was somebody's father. He left behind a 6-year-old that would never see their dad again and never have answers as to what happened. But for him to be dismembered, for them to find his body in a pine cone plantation, for him to be dismembered, and them to decide that it was no foul play, that's an issue. Because obviously he couldn't cut himself up. So something happened for him to be telling his mom and people that he's being followed and he was concerned and he was scared, and people to see him on their deer cam with a stick looking around as if somebody's following him, and they decided it was no foul play. We need answers. We need to step up, share his story, and figure out what happened because there's probably so many untold stories. Like they said, this is not the first one. This is not an isolated event. This is just one that we happen to grab hold to and wanted to bring it to you guys because when we heard it, we knew that there was a bigger issue here. So guys, when you were thinking about this story, when you see, because I want to just kind of hold up this picture as well. I know we have a picture up there, but he was a graduate. He was doing what he can. He was working. Y'all, I'm a little hot, so I'm just a USC fan. And there have been protests, but again, this story, I haven't heard this story. This story happened in 2022, but I didn't hear this story until a few months ago when Marie was looking up some things and she ran across it, and then she told me about it. I'm like, wow, that's crazy because there's so many stories that we did not hear. And I even heard like 70,000 African Americans went missing, and no one has mentioned anything about it because they write them down as a missing person. And once they write them down as a missing person, then they don't have to look for them. Or a runaway. They write them down as a runaway. So because if they write them down as a missing person, they have to look for them. But if they write them down as a runaway, well, they voluntarily left, so we don't need to look for them. So y'all, it's a problem. It's scary. And sometimes we don't take action until it hits home. But let's not let it hit home. If we can bring awareness, if we can help get things in place so that it never hit home and nobody else ever have to experience this, then we are doing our job. We are putting this out here because we want to be a part of the solution. So many times we are angered. So many times we are upset, but we are only upset in the comfort of our own homes or in the circles of our own friends. So it's time that we speak out. We use any platform that we have to get this information out there because this family needs help. We need you guys to say his name, Rasheem Carter. This did not happen by accident. There was absolutely foul play. He was not only at the police station twice, asking for a ride, asking for help, asking can he stay, and being told no, but here's a charger, or do you need a phone? After he told them, I was here for work. I don't know anybody here. My coworker decided I could no longer ride with him, and I was just left. They could have got him, even though they were not in their jurisdiction. I've seen officers cross over all the time, especially where we live, and they could have got him as close. Right, especially if they're trying to get somebody home, because I believe if Rasheem looked different, it would have been a different story. They would have got him as close as they can get him to his home or to his hotel, or before they cross over that jurisdiction, and he probably would have been able to walk the rest of the way, or at least get some more help. But because they refused to give him any type of assistance or any type of help, he ended up in this situation. And we never want our people or anybody of any color to go through a situation like this. I can't imagine the fear he must have felt when he was alone, scared, running for his life, looking around, and he's on foot. These people are on trucks, so it's no way to outrun him. He didn't have a chance. And then you don't know anybody there. You knock on the door, you might get the wrong door, especially down south. I mean, it's no, like, we're up north, and I know it's no mystery to what the things that they experience down there. So let's be clear on that. But guys, yes, we definitely just want to get this information out here. We want to share this story. We want to talk about this story, guys, because these things have been happening since the beginning of time. They have not stopped happening, but it's our job to speak up about it, to talk about it, to share these stories, to help these families because they need help. His 6-year-old needs help. His mother needs help. His sister needs help. His family needs help in finding out what happened to them because they are not getting the answers that they need. And what a slap in the face to go to authorities, to look for your loved ones, to find out they found his remains 31 days after you reported him missing, and that he had been dismembered, only to be told that there was no foul play involved. How does that happen? Like, it's really sad. It's truly sad. So and of course everybody felt outraged regarding this. So guys,
sorry guys, I had to leave. But I was cooking chicken and dumplings, but you guys, we just want to bring these stories before you. When you guys see this video, we want you guys to comment and let us know what you think about it. Have you heard about Rasheem Carter? Did you hear about his story? Are you willing to stand up for what's right? You know what I'm saying? Are we willing to step outside of our comfort zone and bring attention to this? And you know, you guys, you don't even have to leave out of your house to bring attention to this by sharing it, commenting, bringing more attention online so more people see it around the world will bring attention and bring pressure to the police so that they can give us more about what happened, so that it put pressure on them to keep on investigating, because at this time, no murderer have been found. They're not looking for a murderer for him.
And he gave the names. He said to his mom, if something happened to me, these people did it. I want you guys to question them and look into them. And the police decided, well, since there was not enough information, that we're not even gonna look, we're not even gonna try. We're not even gonna look into it. So guys, we definitely encourage you to always do your own research. It's almost like the Bible. Get it for yourself. You gotta get it for yourself. You have to know for yourself. Do the research his name, and get the information so that you can see the story. We will try to continue to bring you stories like this because it's so important to get their names out there. This is part of bringing awareness, because we also want to edify you. We also want to bring awareness.
Out and bring awareness. Yes. So one thing that to edify you, to do what we do, to edify you is to I want to encourage you to step out in boldness when we know about stories about this, no matter your color, your race, to not turn not turn our head or not turn the other cheek because it's not our families, but be willing to stand in boldness to share this story. To, if you live in that area, to go to the protest for the parent or the mother, to reach out if you see the family post about this family, to let them know that you're praying for them. It's all type of little things that we can do. Us sharing this story is us being a part of the awareness for it, so more people can see. Even if only our last story, the last time I checked, like 109 people seen it, that's better than none.
Exactly. Just put it in front of people. And guys, when we do our channel, there are going to be some uncomfortable topics. We want you to know that we don't. Everything's not going to always be sweet, and everything's not going to always be roses, because there's no way.
And life is not always sweet and
in order to build you up, got to make you uncomfortable. In order to help you grow, sometimes you got to be uncomfortable in order to grow.
The reality of it is, Rasheem Carter could be your son, and if you don't have, like, I don't have a son. I have 3 daughters, but I have nephews, and they my sons. My nephews love me. They love my dirty drawers. They love. I mean, that's just the saying. That's just the saying. But you know what I mean. Like,
absolutely.
Like, all of them. You know what I'm saying? Even my cousins, when I was growing up, they kids called me auntie. They loved me. They loved me, and I love all of them. And if anything was to happen to them, I'm there. I'm gonna. Well, God forbid anything happen to any of our children. But if there was, we don't want people acting like I'm gonna be silent because it's not my child. All these are our children. These are our children as a community.
Yeah.
People always say, oh, it takes a village to raise the kid. Well, where's the village? We're the village.
Yes, and people, and then for the people that's like, they ain't got nothing to do with me, that's not my business. Like Marie said, Rasheem Carter can be your child, your brother, your nephew, your friend's son, your friend brother, your friend nephew. If we keep the mentality that something is not our business, y'all, we gonna always keep finding ourselves back in this situation.
We always have so many young black men getting murdered or hung somewhere without any repercussions, without anyone finding out who did it, because nobody stood with the mother or the family of that victim, because we want to mind our own business.
It's time to start making everything our business.
I seen a post that said, I just want to mind my business, drink my water, and no, I don't. I want to stand up for you. I want to edify you. I want to fight with you if I have to. I want to advocate for you if I have to. Because some people don't have the strength to speak up for themselves. So they need someone that's bold like me, bold like Melissa, who will advocate for them. I'm an advocate. I'm not only an advocate, I'm an intercessor. So even when you don't know what to pray, I can intercede for you in prayer if you don't know how to pray. That's what we need to be for each other. If I'm down bad and something happened to me or one of my children, God forbid, I need you guys to advocate for me, intercede and prayer for me. And that's what we need to do for Rasheem Carter mother, for the other young fellow who we talked about last week, for the other women and men who we're going to talk about in the recent week that we haven't heard about on the news, that we haven't seen about on the world news. Y'all, we see petty stuff on world news. We see kids who get kidnapped by the other parent because they having a custody battle on the news, but we haven't heard about these people who we're talking about on the national news,
because all of our stories don't make it to the national news. But that's exactly why we want to bring that information. I can't see this.
Yes, tell me who you are, who wrote this, because it says Facebook user. I'm trying to show it. Oh, it's at current day MA2. Absolutely. And it's so many of them, you guys. I didn't even know I had been. Yeah, we had almost like a week off the let. Today was snow day too. That's why I cooked chicken and dumplings. But week before last, correct? We had another snow day. And y'all, I just was laying there. Well, I thought I was being non-productive, but I actually was being productive. Because I learned about a lot of stories. I'm like, I didn't see this on the news. I never heard of this. I'm writing Melissa. Melissa like, why you keep sending me sad stuff? I'm like, because I never heard.
Right. It was just like that when you was like, look at this. I'm like, what is happening?
Because I just was shocked.
Yeah, this is the microphone that I can take.
Yeah, we do so that you guys can hear us better on it. But I never heard of it. Did you?
No, I did not. But I'm glad that you did bring them to it, because now we are kind of again, we're definitely gonna still do what we do as far as like bringing those topics to you guys to help build and edify you. But at the same time, we also want to bring awareness for these different situations, because
so we can stand together and grow this, so we can advocate, so we can intercede for them.
Exactly.
And then we're still gonna have some fun, but at the same time, life is about fun. It's about balance. It's about fun and realness. And what's real is a lot of our black men are dying unjustly.
And they're not getting
and they're not getting recognition on the news. Not even black men and women. Y'all, there's so many stories of young girls being killed by their partners, even the same color partners, that I never knew about. And so we need to bring awareness to that for our daughters, you know?
Yeah, so many missing people, like I was telling them, but they write them down as runaways, so they never have to tell their story.
Because the truth, y'all want to know the truth is Amber Alerts. When an Amber Alert comes, is it ever a black kid? Absolutely not. I watched this story not so long ago of a 13-year-old who came up missing. And maybe we'll talk about that day too. Her mother said, my daughter wouldn't run away. They would not do it ever. They would not do that. She left at her own will, they say. She left at her own will. They found her dead a couple days later. She left at her own will. It was her ex-boyfriend who she didn't want to be with who killed her. But it still was the simple fact that they wouldn't search for her. They wouldn't do an Amber Alert. And that's been a problem. That's why they made, it's another alert that they made that we need to bring awareness that people need to download.
Well, we'll talk about that next weekend.
But you guys, we thank you for joining us. I hope you guys are unwinding, even if you're unwinding with some wine, some chicken and dumplings like we're about to, some tea, some water, because I've been making sure I'm drinking my water, you guys, because I had started slacking for a minute on my water in the last couple of weeks. Your tea, your coffee. Oh, y'all, I've been unwinding with, I've been unwinding like every day because I've been feeling kind of tangled lately. So I'll be going to give me a caramel mix fat with light caramel. And I've been having a little red wine because I said red wine keep you fat.
Hey, this might be good, a caramel crab. Very good. All right,
tell y'all about that.
So guys, thank you so much for joining us for Online Friday. As always, if you have a topic or one of these untold stories that you would like to discuss, drop the topic for us, or you can inbox myself or Marie. We will do the research for you and bring it before you. Tonight we gave the story of Rasheem Carter about his brutal murder and him being dismembered in Taylorville, Mississippi, and it being noted as no foul play, which is absolutely insane. Share this video to share his story.
Look at his face. Say his name, Rasheem Carter. We want justice for Rasheem Carter. We want justice for Rasheem Carter. Say that. Comment and tell us what you think, you guys. Not only comment, we would like for you guys to go ahead and share, like, comment, share, subscribe, so more people can be a part of our community. We're trying to build our community. We don't want to have a gossiping community for y'all to join us. We want some that that's what we're edifying. Edifying, the word edifying means to build up, to teach, to encourage. That's what we want. We want to have fun, be a little petty positively, but I don't want to be a gossip.
There's a million times where people gossiping and negativity. We want to bring you positivity. We want to bring you fast. We want to educate you, encourage and
build up so you can be the best you, advocate, be intercessors in prayer for you. That's what we want. So you guys, like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell so you know the next time we're coming on.
We'll see you next week. Thank you for joining us for Online Friday.